Hey, running friends. Welcome to the Wrinkled Runner podcast. I'm Sherry, the Wrinkled Runner. I'm over 50 and I love to run wherever I go, but Buffalo, New York is my home. If you are looking to start to run or you're an older runner, this podcast is especially for you, so subscribe now. I love to help people get running and keep running. Today's episode is focusing on the Wrinkled Runner YouTube channel. My blog came first when I was training for a marathon and wanted some place to document my journey, and as I shared more and more, I found that I needed to do videos to better explain some things so people could see what I was talking about, and with videos comes YouTube. Last year, I wasn't able to do very many videos. It's a process, and with COVID, I had my daughter and her family living with us for 5 months for reasons beyond anyone's control. Namely, they live in the Caribbean, and their island was shut down, and the U.S. passport offices were basically shut down too. So the whole reason they were here, to renew my grandson's passport, turned into them staying on our third floor, which includes my studio, where I do most of my filming. So though I was able to do a top 10 for last week's podcast of the blog post from 2020, I only did 5 videos all last year on YouTube. The channel has been in existence since 2018 though, so if you haven't been over there, go check it out. I do recipes, tutorials, talk about gear, and do some teaching type videos all about running as well. For 2020, number 5 on the list was running resolutions for 2021. Now, I'm not a resolutions person per se, but I do like to have some running goals in my mind. This video goes over some goals that you may be interested in pursuing for this year, or if you haven't thought of that, you might be inspired to get some goals on your calendar. The description box under the video has links to a broader post on the blog about having A, B, and C running goals. The 4th video is on choosing your running shoes. If you tuned in last week, the blog companion to this video was one of 2020's top 10 over at wrinkledrunner.com. This topic seems to resonate with a lot of people. I think because in 2020 there was an uptick of new runners. With lockdowns in place for much of the world, outdoor exercise for most was still a possibility, and running is something that's easy to start. I hope a lot of those that join the running community keep with it. Part of my passion for running is making sure many of them do. Choosing a shoe can be confusing, and I recommend new runners do it at a store that's dedicated to running, something like Fleet Feet, although there are lots of mom and pop stores as well. This process does not have to be intimidating and can actually be enjoyable. Along with the blog post and YouTube video, this podcast has an episode all about it. Look for Season 1, Episode 2. I have my coaching certification through the Roadrunners Club of America. Their goal is to get as many people running as possible, and I recommend their Start to Run program for all new runners. The goal of this plan is to get you running for 30 minutes straight from 0 minutes, and I walk you through the plan in the 3rd place video from 2020. Winter is maybe coming closer to ending by the time this podcast comes out, but there will still be cold days ahead, and if you live anywhere like Buffalo, New York, where I do, next winter is guaranteed to be cold as well. Coming in at number 2 for the top 2020 YouTube videos from my channel is winter running gear for 2021. I like to skew warm rather than cool on my runs, so I invest in the things that are going to get me out the door when it's single digits out there. I don't have a treadmill or a gym membership, so if I want to run, it has to be outside. Number 1 is the updated version of the Apple Intervals app. If you do any kind of interval training where you expend a lot of energy to get your heart rate up and then recover for a number of times, this app is fantastic. It will set up your workout so you can concentrate on working hard without having to constantly look at a clock. I did a full redo of the app tutorial since it has changed quite a bit from the first video I did a few years ago, so if you go to it, make sure it's the one from 2020. All these videos will be linked up in the show notes, as well as any blog posts that are companion pieces to them. Videos come out on the Wrinkled Runner YouTube channel every Wednesday morning, so while you're there, hit subscribe so you don't miss any. Next week's podcast, I'll be doing a Q&A with questions that I've received from runners that listen to the podcast, watch the YouTube videos, or read the blog. Check it out in case you have any of the same questions. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you know another runner who could benefit from today's topic, go ahead and share it. Do you have any running questions? You can ask me. Email me at sherry@wrinkledrunner.com, and if I can't answer your question, I will do the research to find the answer and share it with you. The questions I get from listeners like you help me develop episodes, so please don't be shy. You can sign up for my once-a-month newsletter using the link provided so that you can have all the Wrinkled Runner resources from the past month all in one place. I also have opened up my virtual coaching in addition to coaching one-on-one with those in the Buffalo, New York area. So head to my coaching page on the Wrinkled Runner website, which I will, of course, link to, and check out how we may be able to work together. Until next Monday, thanks for listening, and I'll see you on the run.